The necklace. Have you ever dreamed of living a different life? Have you ever looked at others and wished you had their beauty, wealth, or happiness? Sometimes the things we desire the most can bring us unexpected troubles. A small choice made in a moment of pride may change our whole life. This is the story of a woman named Matild Loisel, who wanted a life of luxury but learned a painful lesson about appearance, honesty, and the true meaning of happiness. Matild Loisel was a beautiful young woman who lived in Paris with her husband. Her husband worked as a small clerk in a government office. They were not rich, but they had enough money for a simple life. Matild was not happy with her life. She believed that she was born for a better world. She dreamed of large houses, beautiful clothes, expensive jewelry, and elegant parties. She imagined herself sitting in a beautiful room, surrounded by rich people who admired her. But her real life was very different. She lived in a small apartment with old furniture. She had only a few simple dresses to wear. She often looked at the poor decorations in her home and felt sad. She had a kind husband who loved her very much. He worked hard every day and tried his best to make her happy. But Matild could not see his kindness. She only thought about the things she did not have. One evening, her husband came home with a big smile on his face. He held a small envelope in his hand. "My dear, I have something wonderful for you," he said. Matild opened the envelope and found an invitation to a special party. It was a grand event held by the government. Many important and wealthy people would attend. Her husband was very excited because he thought she would enjoy the evening. "You always say that you never have a chance to go to parties. Now you can go and have a wonderful time," he said. But instead of feeling happy, Matild became upset. She looked at the invitation and said sadly, "What can I do with this? I have nothing beautiful to wear." Her husband was surprised. "How much would a nice dress cost?" he asked. After thinking for a while, Matild told him that she needed 400 francs for a dress. 400 francs was a lot of money for them. Her husband had been saving that money to buy a hunting gun, something he had wanted for a long time. But when he saw his wife's sadness, he gave her the money. The day of the party finally arrived. Matild wore the beautiful dress her husband bought for her. She looked very lovely, but she was still unhappy. "What is wrong?" her husband asked. "I have no jewelry," she answered. "I will look poor among all those rich women." Her husband thought for a moment. "Why don't you borrow some jewelry from your friend, Madame Forestier? She is wealthy and may have something suitable." This idea made Matild happy. The next day, she visited Madame Forestier, who was an old friend. Madame Forestier welcomed her warmly. She opened a large box filled with beautiful jewelry. "Choose anything you like," she said. Matild looked at the jewelry carefully. There were rings, bracelets, and necklaces of many different styles. Suddenly, she saw a beautiful diamond necklace inside the box. Her eyes became bright. The necklace was shining and elegant. It looked expensive and perfect. "Can I borrow this one?" Matild asked. "Of course," Madame Forestier replied. Matild was very happy. She put the necklace around her neck and looked at herself in the mirror. She felt like a completely different person. At the party, Matild was the most beautiful woman there. Everyone looked at her. Many people wanted to talk with her. She danced happily all night. For a few hours, she finally lived the life she had always dreamed of. She forgot about her small apartment, her simple clothes, and her ordinary life. She felt important and admired. Her husband waited outside for a long time while other guests were leaving. But Matild did not want the night to end. Finally, at 4 o'clock in the morning, they returned home. When they arrived, Matild looked at herself one more time in the mirror. Then she suddenly noticed something terrible. The diamond necklace was gone. She touched her neck again and again, but it was not there. She and her husband searched everywhere. They looked through her dress, her coat, and her bag. They went back to the streets where they had traveled. They asked the driver of their carriage, but no one had found the necklace. Her husband tried to comfort her. "Maybe we can find it. Let's think carefully." But after several days of searching, they still could not find it. Finally, Matild and her husband made a difficult decision. They would buy a new necklace and return it to Madame Forestier. They went to many jewelry shops. At last, they found a necklace that looked exactly the same. The price was 36,000 francs. They did not have that much money. Her husband borrowed money from many people. They also used all their savings. They signed many papers and promised to pay back the money over many years. When they finally bought the necklace, Matild returned it to Madame Forestier. Madame Forestier looked at the necklace and said, "You should have returned it sooner. I needed it before." Matild felt nervous, but she was relieved that her secret was hidden. After that, their life changed completely. They moved to a much smaller apartment. They had to dismiss their servant. Matild learned to do all the housework herself. She washed clothes, cleaned the rooms, cooked meals, and carried heavy bags from the market. Her hands became rough. Her beautiful face changed because of hard work and worry. Her husband also worked harder. After his normal job, he found extra work at night. He spent many years paying back the money they had borrowed. The life they lived was completely different from the life Matild had dreamed about. 10 years passed. After 10 difficult years, they finally paid all their debts. One day, Matild was walking in the street when she saw a woman she knew. It was Madame Forestier. Matild decided to talk to her. "Hello, Jean," she said. Madame Forestier looked at her with surprise. She almost did not recognize her. "Excuse me, but do I know you?" "Yes, I am Matild Loisel." "Oh, my dear, how much you have changed." Matild smiled sadly. "Yes, I have had a very hard life since I saw you last. It was because of you." "Because of me?" Madame Forestier asked in surprise. "Yes. Do you remember the diamond necklace you lent me for the party 10 years ago?" "Yes, I remember." "I lost it," Matild said. "We bought another one to replace it. We spent 10 years paying for it. It was very difficult, but now we have finally finished." Madame Forestier was shocked. "You bought another necklace to replace it?" "Yes. You did not notice because it looked exactly the same." Madame Forestier held Matild's hands. Oh, my poor Matild. My necklace was not real diamonds. It was only imitation jewelry. It was worth only 500 francs. Matild stood there silently. For 10 years, she and her husband had suffered because of a necklace that was not even valuable. She thought about all the years of hard work, all the pain, and all the dreams she had lost. The necklace had changed her life forever. Matild finally understood that the thing she wanted so much was only an illusion. She had spent many years chasing a beautiful appearance while ignoring the simple happiness she already had. Her husband loved her. They had a peaceful life before. But because of her desire for a richer life and her fear of looking poor, she lost 10 precious years. The story of Matild Loisel reminds us that appearances are not always the truth. Sometimes the things we believe will bring us happiness may only bring us trouble. Real happiness does not always come from wealth, beauty, or the opinions of others. Sometimes it is found in the simple things we already have but fail to appreciate. And sometimes one small decision can change the direction of an entire life. Thank you for watching.